The roar from the crowd indicates we're ready to go as Kentucky and Pittsburgh moves out to open this Lexington, Kentucky regional of the NCAA tournament. Opening also tonight in Philadelphia, Dallas, and Corvallis, Oregon. Johnny Cox standing off to the side as Brodigan moves in against Beck. Kentucky with 1-inch height advantage. It taps to Calvert as the ball game's underway. In front court, he passes to Hatton. Left open from 20 feet, he hits. And Kentucky is out in front by 2-0 on Hatton's field goal after only 10 seconds of play. Now Pittsburgh goes to the attack. In front court with it. Out deep is Hirsch. Over to Hennon with Calvert on him. Breaks to the right. Flips off in the right corner to Brodigan. Then out front to Hirsch. Off to the free throw line. He passes to Reiser. From 10 feet, he hits. John Reiser with a field goal 15 feet away on the left side. Ties it 2-2. Now Cox takes it in the left corner for Kentucky. Passes to Calvert. Takes it back out to set it up. Passes back to Cox, back to Calvert. Hatton goes through. Krigler comes out, gets the pass. Krigler from 15 feet, misses. Beck rebounds, almost loses his footing. Gets it out to Calvert. Calvert sets, passes to Hatton. Fakes to break, takes a jump shot. It's good. Vernon Hatton pumps it in again from the free throw line. Kentucky 4, Pittsburgh 2. Don Hennon, the 5'9" spark plug of Pittsburgh, back in front court. Passing over to Hirsch, down in the left corner. Here's a break for the basket, but cut off Brodigan. On the baseline, hands off. Hennigan feeds out deep now to Pegas. Pegas off the right side to Brodigan. Here's one down in the corner that's dropped by Brodigan, but picked up over to Pegas, who walks with it, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Vernon Hatton off the side of the back court, passes into Jerry Calvert. Calvert checks Hennon, who was going to make a run at him, then gives to Krigler, back to Calvert, to Cox. From 20 feet, he shoots good. Johnny Cox with his first field goal puts Kentucky in front 6-2. A minute and a half gone. Don Hennon of Pittsburgh back over the dividing line. Breaks down the left side. Passes into the left corner to Hirsch. Back out front now with a pass to Reiser. On the left side to Hennon. Back to Reiser. Moves along the top rim of the circle to Pegas. Back to Hennon. He dropped the ball. Went out near the dividing line to pick it up within a couple of feet of it against Krigler. Cuts down the middle. Contact and a foul is called. John Krigler of Kentucky draws the first personal foul of the ball game. 2 minutes gone. 18 to go in this first half. Don Hennon of Pittsburgh on the line for one shot. Hennon, a two-hand shooter, hits. That reduces the Kentucky lead to 3 points. Hennon with a bonus shot. Stands in, sights, flips it up good. Kentucky 6, Pittsburgh 4. Jerry Calvert quickly back in front court for the Wildcats. Passes over to Hatton, down the left side to Cox, back to Hatton. Hatton passes to Krigler at the top of the circle. Closely guarded, he gives to Calvert. Down the right side with a whistle on the play. Pushing foul. What's this? 3-second violation by Johnny Cox of Kentucky. Gives the ball to Pittsburgh. First time Kentucky has not had a shot with possession. On the left side, breaking out for the basket. Here's a charging foul on Pittsburgh's John Reiser as he collided with John Krigler trying to get to the basket. First personal foul against Pittsburgh. Reiser, big, 6'4", weighs 200. John Krigler goes to the Kentucky free throw line for one shot. Hatton with 2 field goals. Cox with 1. Puts Kentucky in front by 2 points. Krigler at the line shoots no good. Tapped by Cox, short. Taken off by Pittsburgh as Brodigan brings it in. Gives over to Reiser. Up to Hirsch, moving in front court. Plays with a heavily taped right knee. Breaks into the basket against Cox. Slips in, loses his balance. Walks with it. So Kentucky gets the ball back. That's 2 straight trips Pittsburgh has made in front court without getting a point, without getting a shot. Here's Calvert on the right to Krigler, back to Calvert. Cox breaks through, and Calvert has the ball knocked out of bounds by Hennon of Pittsburgh. Calvert on the right side now, deep, passes in the corner to Beck, breaks for the basket. Beck takes a one-bounce dribble, whips to Cox, spins under the basket, and a foul is called against Pittsburgh. It goes against Hirsch. Charles Hirsch drawing his first personal foul. Johnny Cox goes to the Kentucky free throw line for one shot. 3 minutes gone. Kentucky 6, Pitt 4. Cox on the line, two-handed shooter from between the knees. He hits his 3rd point of the game. Kentucky takes a 3-point advantage. Calvert and Hennon playing back deep in front court on the left side. Bonus shot by Cox is good. Kentucky takes its second 4-point lead of the game at 8-4. Hatton was picking up in back court and brought Hennon in to help out Hirsch. Now Hennon past the dividing line, drives down the right side on Calvert to the corner, pulls up at the baseline, passes outside to Brodigan, over to Pegas to Reiser, breaking for the basket, hooking to Brodigan in the right corner. Then out to Reiser, to Pegas on the left side to Hinnon. Calvert playing him loosely. He gives to Pegas. Fakes, breaks, shoots. Good. No good. Rolled out. Vernon Hatton rebounds for Kentucky. Whips one to the dividing line to Johnny Cox. Over to Calvert to the right side. Whips behind him to Krigler from 10 feet. He missed it. Taking it off, Hirsch of Pittsburgh. Over to Hinnon, and the Panthers are on the break. Over to Pegas. Breaks in against Hatton and drops it right in there. Good. Hit the floor. Coming through. Fine play by Pegas for his first field goal. Hatton back in front court for the Wildcats. Pulls up. Free throw line shot. Good. Vernon Hatton's third field goal, and the score is 10-6 for the Wildcats. Don Hinnon of Pittsburgh moving up the backcourt now. Hatton very hot around the top rim of the circle. Picked up 3 field goals. Breaking through Hinnon from the right side. Passes to Hirsch. Back to Hinnon from 20 feet. He shoots. No good. Off the rim. Krigler's got it for Kentucky. Whips to Hatton. All the way to Johnny Cox. He runs it down and lays it up. No good. Pegas knocks it out of bounds for Pittsburgh. Cox was straining hard as Hatton gave him an awful lot of lead on the pass. He ran it down and twisted it up into the rim. No good. Now back to the left of the basket. Will put it in play. Calls it. Pass comes in under the basket. Hatton lays it in. 4 field goals for Vernon Hatton as Kentucky leads 12-6. Pegas gets it. Returns to Hinnon. And now back to Pegas. Back in front court for the Panthers of Pittsburgh. Down the right to Hirsch, who's at a forward momentarily. He pivots, passes out to Brodegum. Brodegum gives to Hinnon. Reiser moves out on the left. Hinnon moves and hands to him. Reiser moves into the left corner. Passes out to Pegas. Fakes, breaks on Hatton and shoots. Good. Hatton hit the floor that time as Pegas kept his feet after getting his second field goal to cut Kentucky's lead back to 4 points at 12-8. Vernon Hatton gives to Calvert in front court to Krigler. Back to Calvert, out to Cox. Fakes to pull up and shoot, and a foul is called against Pittsburgh. It goes against Don Hinnon, his first personal. Cox was expected to pull up with a jump shot and instead broke for the basket, and Hinnon picking up hit him. Johnny Cox will shoot one. 15 minutes to go in this first half of play here at Lexington, NCAA Regional. Johnny Cox, two-handed free throw, good. Kentucky 13-8 over Pittsburgh. Cox will take a bonus shot for the Wildcats. Vernon Hatton with 8 points. Johnny Cox with 5. Shot good. Cox and Hatton have done all the scoring. It's 14-8. Kentucky's second 6-point lead. Hinnon in front court against Calvert. Spins around to the right side. Picked up by Ed Beck. Passes out to Pegas. Walks with it, making a fake on Vernon Hatton. Pegas doesn't like the call. Holds the ball, carrying it several steps up the court, and here's an official's timeout. The official is making Kentucky put it in play way down in back court. It was brought on by Pegas, carrying the ball up court. Now Calvert back in front court, works to Cox on the left side, breaks to the baseline, double team, gives to Calvert from 15 feet, he hits. Jerry Calvert pumps in his first field goal of the night. Kentucky 16-8 over Pittsburgh. 5.5 minutes gone. Pegas on the right side. Brodegum breaks to the baseline, sweeping hooks, good, a beauty. Tremendous shot by Brodegum. His first field goal, 16-10. Cats leading Pittsburgh. Hatton in front court now, fakes to Calvert, passes down the left side to Cox, who takes the jump shot, no good. Fight for the ball. Reiser's got it for Pittsburgh and has got a 3-on-1 break against Calvert. Pegas goes in against him, whips to him, and a bad pass that he hooks up and misses, but a beautiful tap by Reiser knocks it in for his second field goal. Kentucky 16, Pittsburgh 12 after 6 minutes of play. Panthers battling back. Here's Krigler to Calvert. Hatton goes through, pass out to Cox, top of the circle, moves in, jump shot, short. Krigler lays it up, no good on the rebound. Reiser rebounds for Pittsburgh, and an immediate foul by John Krigler, his second one. That's the second foul on Krigler with 13 minutes and 48 seconds here in the first half. Kentucky moved out on top by 16-8. Then the Panthers came to life with 2 quick field goals. Now Reiser's on the free throw line. One shot coming on the backcourt foul. Reiser with 349 points coming into this game. Shoots good. Now a bonus shot to the 6'4" Pitt forward as they've outscored Kentucky 5-0 after falling behind 8 points. Reiser sights, and here's the bonus shot. It's good, and the ball game is 16-14. Kentucky with a 2-point lead. Here's Calvert moving back in front court. Over to Johnny Cox, back to Calvert. Calvert moving back now from Hinnon, passes to Cox, takes a return pass. Hatton goes through, gets the pass at the baseline, fakes Pegas, jumps to shoot, and the ball's taken away from him by Brodegum of Pittsburgh. He gives it over, weaving in front court to Hirsch. Comes off on the left side. Pittsburgh has hit a hot streak here as the Wildcats have lost their 8-point lead now. It's down to 2. Here's a hook. Good by Brodegum, and it's all tied up. Pittsburgh battles back to a 16-all tie. Jerry Calvert moves up over the dividing line for the Wildcats. Gives to Hatton, whips it back in the pivot. Under the basket, he throws it right to Reiser of Pittsburgh, and the Panthers are back. Moving back, Don Hennon now in front court. Moves over to the free throw line, wide open. Beck fouled him, trying to pick him up. Brodigan will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Wildcats are in trouble and calling timeout. There are exactly 13 minutes in the first half. We saw Kentucky get off to a flying start as Vernon Hatton hit a 20-foot shot, matched by Reiser of Pittsburgh from 10 feet. Hatton came back to hit from the head of the circle, and Cox from 20 feet to build a 4-point lead. Then Krigler fouling Hennon. Pittsburgh got both free throws. But then as Reiser fouled Cox, he dropped in a pair. And Kentucky was out on top 8-6 after Pegas hit a driving crib. Then we saw the Wildcats catch fire. Hatton hit 2 straight, and Cox hit a pair of free throws as Calvert from 15 feet hit to put the Wildcats on top 6-8. Now we have seen Brodigan hit a hook shot, Reiser a tap in, and a pair of free throws, and now Brodigan hit and tie the ball game 16-all. And free throws coming to Pittsburgh, which will go back to play. Kentucky, which called the first time out of the ball game, standing in, ready to go. Here's the latest report from Freedom Hall. Lafayette 21, Dixie Heights 15 in the state tournament. Lickard has 12 of the 21 points. They are in the second quarter. 2 shots to Brodigan of Pittsburgh. Here's the first one, good, and for the first time, Pittsburgh leads. They lead on the strength of 9 straight points. Now, Brodigan with his second shot, hits, and Pitt leads 18-16. They've reeled off 10 straight points in the Wildcats. Hatton up in front court. Kentucky's hit 6 out of 13 shots. Pitt's hit 6 out of 9. Here's Calvert from 25 feet. A set shot no good with a foul called on the rebound against Pittsburgh's Charles Hirsch, his second foul. Chance to tie the ball game for Johnny Cox. 12 minutes and 48 seconds here in the first half at Lexington. We'll give you scores on the state tournament from Louisville, where Lafayette plays Dixie Heights at the moment. Cox shoots good, and with a bonus shot can tie up this 18-17 ball game. Cox stands in, feet apart. 2-handed free throw good. Kentucky and Pittsburgh deadlocked 18-all. Pegas moving back in front court for Pittsburgh against Hatton. Fakes, gets away from him, right down the middle, lays it up, no good, but he's fouled on the play. They signaled the goal was good, but it didn't go in. A foul is against Pittsburgh. Now the other official runs up to say the goal did not go in. The foul goes against Julius Pegas, who charged into Beck down the middle. So it's Pegas' first personal foul, and Ed Beck goes to the free throw line for the first time. 18-18 the score with 12 minutes and 42 seconds here in the first half. Here's Beck with his free throw. No good. Hatton rebounds out deep. Flips to Beck, and a jump shot off the free throw line is good. Ed Beck with his first field goal puts Kentucky in front 20-18. Now in front court, Harris to Brodigan in the left corner to Reiser, wide open, but Krigler fouled him as he shot no good. That's 3 fouls on John Krigler. Pittsburgh outplaying Kentucky now after falling 8 points off the pace. John Reiser of Pittsburgh is up for 2 shots. Pittsburgh has not missed a free throw in this ball game. Kentucky's missed 2 out of 8. As Ray Mills comes off the Kentucky bench, Reiser drops in his 3rd straight free throw. Ray Mills checks in for John Krigler. Mills, a 23-year-old senior from Clay County in Manchester. He's 6'4", weighs 199, has 89 points, an average of 4.6 a game. His best nights against Duke and Loyola. He scored 11 points in each game. Reiser of Pittsburgh hits the bonus shot, and it's tied up 20-20. Calvert gets the ball coming from Beck. Hatton is in front court waiting for him as he moves over the dividing line. Angles down the right side, gives to Mills, out to Hatton. Hatton sets from 30 feet. The shot's no good, in and out. Ray Mills high to get the rebound for Kentucky. Passes out to Hatton, over to Calvert. Calvert drives down the right side, pulls up for a jump shot. It's no good. Off the rim to Hennon of Pittsburgh. As Kentucky hits a drought now after 8 minutes with a game 20-20. Here's Hennon from 25 feet. It's short of the rim. Rebounding Reiser has the shot blocked by Johnny Cox, picked up by Hennon outside. Hennon weaves, takes a jump shot, top of the circle. It's no good. Knocking it down, Brodigan gets the rebound. Calvert takes it away but can't hold it. Out of bounds with it. Pegas gets the incoming pass from Brodigan, moves into the left corner. Passes out to Reiser now. He's got Ray Mills on him. Reiser, playing a fine game for Pittsburgh, has picked up 8 points to lead. Now here's Pegas. Straight away, whips one high onto the basket that Brodigan pulls down, gives to Hirsch on the left side. Back to Pegas, open from 15 feet. The shot's no good. Glances off. Ray Mills knocks it down, gets it. Outside to Calvert. Breaks up in the front court. Over to Johnny Cox. Moves by Hennon. Lays it up. No good. And Kentucky unable to hit now. Missing the inside shots. Brodigan in front court to the free throw line. Turns his back to the basket. Gives to Hirsch. Fakes. Breaks in. Pass over to Brodigan. Back to Hirsch on the left side. Fakes. Breaks on the baseline. Shoots no good. Beck rebounds. Passes out to Calvert. Up in front court it goes to Vernon Hatton. Spins to his left from 10 feet. The shot's no good. Rebounding Jerry Calvert. Scoops it up to the right near the corner. Passes outside to Johnny Cox, who takes a 20-foot jump shot. No good. Bounces out of bounds to Pittsburgh. Kentucky way off in its shooting. Has not picked up a field goal in quite a stretch. 2 minutes without a field goal for the Wildcats. Here's Reiser driving to the top rim of the circle for Pittsburgh. Passes to Brodigan on the left side to Hennon to the left of the basket. Fakes Calvert off and then gives off to Brodigan. Jump shot by him is good. As Brodigan picks up his third field goal, Pittsburgh goes back in front, 22-20. Vernon Hatton up in front court now. Sets up out deep. Passes to Ray Mills on the right side. Out to Jerry Calvert. Sets, breaks on Hennon to the right side and has it taken away, but picked up by Ray Mills, who lays it in. Ray Mills with his first field goal of the ball game ties it up 22-all as we hit the midpoint of the first half. Julius Pegas in front court for Pittsburgh. Whips into Reiser. A bad pass that Pegas races all the way across the court to save. Gives to Brodigan to Hirsch, who lays it up no good, but he's fouled on the play by Johnny Cox. It's the first foul against Cox of Kentucky. On the Pittsburgh free throw line is Charles Hirsch. He's the only one for Pittsburgh that has not scored a point. Hirsch shoots and it's no good. Another one coming as he was fouled in the act of shooting. That, incidentally, is the first free throw in 9 tries that Pittsburgh has missed. The second shot's good and Pittsburgh leads 23-22. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Hatton in front court feeds Cox on the left side. He's left open, doesn't shoot. Out to Hatton. Beck gets it on the pivot now. Hatton breaks by. Beck turns, moves over, gives to Ray Mills. Here's a 20-foot jump shot. It's good. Ray Mills picks up his second straight field goal of the ball game. Kentucky 24, Pittsburgh 23. Hirsch in front court for the Panthers. Gives over to Hennon. Down the right to Pegas. Moves out. Hennon goes by. He hands to him. Hennon's open. The shot from 20 feet's good. That's the first field goal by Don Hennon and puts Pittsburgh in front, 25-24. With Hatton back in front court now, setting it up, passing to Calvert deep, down the left side to Cox, who moves it out, gets to Hatton, fakes a shot, breaks on Pegas to the baseline to the left, hands off to Mills. Here's a 20-foot jumper. It's no good this time. And out to take the rebound is Hirsch of Pittsburgh, gives to Hennon, who throws way over the head of Brodigan. He races in, can't get it in Kentucky's ball. Ray Mills quickly to Hatton, up the way to Calvert, moving in front court. Pittsburgh's got the defense set. They lead by 1 point. Is Beck from 15 feet, shoots, good. Ed Beck with his second field goal. Timeout is being taken with the net up on the rim of the Kentucky basket. Knocked off, we're ready to go back to play. Timeout has just been called by Pittsburgh. Their first timeout of the ball game. 8 minutes and 52 seconds to play. Kentucky 26, Pittsburgh 25 in a whale of a ball game. And here's the picture of the State High School tournament at Freedom Hall, Louisville. The score at the end of, with 6 minutes still to go in the first half. Lafayette 31, Dixie Heights 21. Billy Lickard has added 17 points for Lafayette. The Generals lead 10 points. Well, here's the scoring so far for Kentucky. Jerry Calvert, 2 points. Johnny Cox, 8. Ed Beck, 4. Vernon Hatton, 8. Ray Mills, 4. For Pittsburgh, Charles Hirsch, 1. Don Hennon, 4. Julius Pegas, 4. Barry Brodigan, 8. Brodigan, 8. John Reiser, 8 points. Into the Pittsburgh lineup for the first time is Dennis Dorman, D-O-R-M-A-N, a 5-year-old junior from Pittsburgh. Dorman is 6'6", weighs 205. Has scored only 12 points this year, an average of 1.7 a game. Brodigan comes out of the game. Brodigan has picked up 8 points. So far for Kentucky, they've hit 10 of 29 shots for 41.7%. Pittsburgh's hit 8 out of 15 for 53.3%. Tremendous shooting by Pittsburgh as Hennon goes in wide open and misses. Mills high to the rebound. Pulls up right under the Pittsburgh basket. Flips a bounce pass over to Jerry Calvert. Kentucky's got the ball and a 1-point lead. Kentucky had a 16-8 lead and lost it as Pittsburgh moved out on top 20-18. Up in front court, Calvert takes a 35-foot set shot that's good. Jerry Calvert with his second field goal puts Kentucky in front 28-25 with Pegasus of Pittsburgh back in front court. Fakes, cuts into the free throw line, shoots to Hennon. Off the left side to Reiser. Free throw line jump shot by Reiser's no good. Ed Beck rebounds, hooks it out to Calvert. Watches for Pegasus, gets by him. Right down the middle, Calvert lays it in. Tremendous driving, twisting trip by Calvert. 2 straight field goals puts Kentucky on top 30-25. Calvert blasting down the middle. Now in Pittsburgh front court, Hirsch down the left side to Reiser, who moves out to the top of the circle, hands to Pegasus on the weave, flips off the left side. Hirsch mows it out and walks with it, goes over to Kentucky. 7 minutes and 45 seconds in this first half. Vernon Hatton into Jerry Calvert, right back to Hatton moving in front court. In the pivot to Beck. Hatton goes by, back to Calvert. 30-foot set shot, no good. Off the rim, Beck knocks it down, but it's picked up by Reiser of Pittsburgh. Hands over to Don Hennon. Moves up in front court for the Pitt Panthers. Over to Reiser. Pulls up deep to the left. Passes on the side to Dorman. Back to Hennon, moving down the left side with Calvert on him, stopping him at the baseline. Off to Reiser, breaks out against Mills. Hands to Pegasus. Moves down to the left side of the baseline. Whips under the basket. Shot right back to Hennon. Jump shot, good. Don Hennon with his second field goal cuts the Kentucky lead to 3 points with 7 minutes in the first half. Vernon Hatton moves up over the midcourt stripe for the Wildcats. Cuts up at the top of the circle, screens for Calvert, who breaks off to the right for a 20-foot jump shot. Good. Jerry Calvert with 4 field goals, 3 of them here in a row. Makes it Kentucky 32, Pittsburgh 27. Julius Pegasus back in front court before this capacity crowd at the Coliseum. Hooking, missing, Beck way high for the rebound, is fouled. Dennis Dorman of Pittsburgh commits his first personal foul. Ed Beck up at the free throw line as Pittsburgh is making another change in the lineup. Checking into the ball game for the first time is Milan Markovich, Markovich, 22-year-old senior from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Charles Hirsch is out of there. Markovich, 5'11", weighs 175, has scored 27 points, an average of 1.1 this season. Ed Beck at the Kentucky free throw line for 1 try. Shoots and misses. Cox taps no good. Mills lays it in, and he's fouled on the play. Goal counts. Personal foul against Pittsburgh's Dennis Dorman, who had fouled Beck 2 in a row on Dorman. Dorman commits 2 personal fouls in 2 seconds. Ray Mills has his 3rd field goal in relief of John Krigler. And he has 1 free throw coming, hit or miss. This one is in play as the field goal counted, and it's no good. Cox rebounds, fakes the hand to Calvert, then hooks, and it's no good. Tap by Beck, no good. By Reiser of Pittsburgh, it's picked off. Fed to Markovich up to Pegasus down the left side against Hatton. Hands off to Markovich. Out deep to Reiser. To Hennon from 25-foot of 1-handers. Good. Beautiful shot by Don Hennon of Pittsburgh for his 3rd field goal. Kentucky 34, Pittsburgh 29. Jerry Calvert in front court now, setting it up. Over to Hatton. He sets in from 30 feet. The shot no good. In and out. Back in. Good. 5 field goals for Hatton, who takes the lead in that department as Kentucky leads by 7 points. Pegasus in front court for Pittsburgh. Out to Markovich, who couldn't get it down. Juggled the ball for just a moment and walked with it. Dries the palms of his hands, moving back up the court. 6 minutes, 2 seconds here in the first half as Hatton loops along, bounce pass to Calvert, and takes a quick return. Back to Calvert, who moves it in front court. Beck playing a deep pivot as Hatton gets it. Sets a 30-foot shot. It's short and off to the left. Cox can't get to it as Markovich of Pittsburgh gets in front of him. Over to Reiser, back to Markovich, up to Pegasus, moving down the right side of the front court. Gives in to the pivot to Markovich, back to Pegasus, out front to Reiser. Moves to the left, passes to Hennon. Got Hatton on him, quick jump shot high and no good. Beck rebounds, getting way off the floor. Up to Cox, drops the ball, picks it up and knocked off his feet, shoots it down to Beck, back to Calvert in front court. On the right side to Hatton, out of the corner, turns his back to Pegasus, passes to Calvert, down the middle, out to Beck, down the left to Mills, shot short, rebounding Calvert, knocks it up, Beck's got it, blind save to Hatton. Back to Calvert, sets, 20-footer, it's no good. Beautiful rebound by Cox, who lays it in. 2 field goals, Johnny Cox, Kentucky 38, Pittsburgh 9. Longest lead of the ball game. Markovich in front court for Pitt. Down the right side to the corner with Hatton falling away. He gives to Pegasus. Cox falls down. Pegasus lays it in. Pegas has 3 field goals, along with Hennon and Brodigan, who's not in the game. 38-31, Kentucky leads Pitt in the NCAA here at Lexington. Calvert in front court, calls Mills out, moves in, whips to Beck on the free throw line, high pivot. He moves right, fakes the hand to Cox, flips to Hatton from 20 feet. A jump shot's no good with a whistle at the baseline. Foul against Pittsburgh. Julius Pegas drawing his second personal, sending Hatton to the free throw line. 4 minutes and 44 seconds here in the first half of play. 2 shots to Hatton, who has not been on the free throw line previously. Kentucky has missed 4 out of 10 free throws. Cox has hit all 6. Here's Hatton. He's a 2-hand free throw shooter in hitting. Hatton with 11 points leads all scores. Calvert has 8. Cox has 10. Hatton's second shot's good. Kentucky goes out on top now by 9 points again for the second time in the ball game. 40-31. John Reiser of Pittsburgh back in front court. The Pegas in the left corner. Weaves, moves out. Hatton knocks it down. Cox knocks it outside, but Reiser's got it for Pitt. Breaks down the middle with a foul on Ray Mills of Kentucky. Ray Mills trying to get out to block him. Call for the personal foul, his first of the game. 4 minutes and 33 seconds here in the first half. As Pittsburgh's big 6'4" John Reiser, a 200-pounder, stands at the free throw line where he hasn't missed in 4 tries. Shoots good. Pittsburgh has missed only 1 free throw, that by Hirsch, who's not in the game at the moment. Kentucky with an 8-point lead. Reiser sights for the bonus shot. It's good. And the score is 40-33. Back out of bounds passes to Calvert with Hennon picking him up. He loops a long bounce pass up the way to Hatton. Brodigan waits to get in for Pittsburgh as Calvert moves in front court for Kentucky. Down the right to Cox. Fakes to break, then under Markovich, hooks it back and no good. Reiser rebounds for Pitt. Up in front court for the Panthers. Free throw line. Cox slips. Reiser drives and is fouled by Beck, trying to save. That's the first foul on Ed Beck. Now here's Barry Brodigan coming into the lineup. Check us on the fouls against Beck. He has 2. Coming out of the ball game is Dennis Dorman of Pitt. 2 shots to John Reiser. Reiser shooting the first one, no good. That's the first one he's missed after hitting 6 in a row. Only the second that the Panthers have missed. 4 minutes, 12 seconds here in the first half as the second shot's good by Reiser. Kentucky takes over with a 6-point lead. Here's Hatton in front court. Passes over to Calvert. Beck goes to the pivot at the free throw line. Calvert moves to the right, takes a 25-foot set shot that's no good. Tapped up by Mills, no good. Mills rebounds, lays it in. That's 4 field goals for Ray Mills, doing a great job in relief role. 42-34 for the Wildcats. Pegas in front court, bakes on Cox and lays it in beautifully, and Cox fouled him. Second foul on Johnny Cox. And Pegas, 4th field goal. He leads Pittsburgh in field goals. Now 1 shot to Pegas. Off the Kentucky bench is Collinsworth as Pegas gets a 3-point trip, dropping in the free throw. Kentucky's lead is trimmed to 5 points. Here's Hatton in front court to Calvert to Mills and back to Calvert. Cox moves out to the free throw line in the pivot. Then Beck calls for it, hands to Calvert, who brings it back out front to set it up. Cox in a double pivot with Beck. At the moment, Kentucky changing the offense. Hatton looking at the situation, waves Calvert off the left side. Hatton wanted to make an individual move down there, and Calvert got on the wrong side for him. Here's Calvert with a 25-foot set shot. Good. 5 field goals for Jerry Calvert. Kentucky 44, Pittsburgh 37. Julius Pegas in front court. Moves in against Johnny Cox again, then flips out to Hennon. From 25 feet, a jump shot short off to the right to Vernon Hatton. Brodigan goes for him. Hatton pulls up, whips to Calvert, just in backcourt. He moves by Hennon, by Pegas, and Hennon slips in on him and knocks it out of bounds, right into the Pitt bench. 3 minutes in the first half. Ed Beck out of bounds to put her in play. Wildcats line up on the right side of the offensive court. Switch, the pass, out deep to Hatton at the top of the circle. Hennon stabs forward and misses. It goes over to Calvert as Kentucky sets it up. Moving out of the double pivot now. Hatton calls Cox off the right side, and Hatton then quickly sets and shoots good. Hatton wants to move individually on that side, but his teammates keep getting in his way, so he hits from the outside to make it 46-37, Kentucky's third 9-point lead. Here's Hennon in front court to Reiser for Pitt. Moving down the right side, Mills plays him loosely. Pegas cuts him out, and as he shoots, Cox blocks. Picked up by Hatton, fed to Calvert on a 1-1 break against Markovich. Pulls up, gives to Hatton. Fakes, breaks in against Markovich, and the foul's on Hatton for charging. It's the first foul on Vernon Hatton. Marcus had his position and would not retreat. Johnny Cox comes out of the Kentucky lineup as Lincoln Collinsworth makes his first appearance at the NCAA tournament. Collinsworth, a 21-year-old junior from Salyersville, stands 6'3", weighs 185. has scored 27 points for a 2-point average. Best night against Washington and Lee when he scored 5. On the free throw line, Markovich of Pittsburgh has not scored in the ball game. He's a substitute. 2 minutes, 20 seconds in the first half as he hits. Tremendous ball game here at the Coliseum with Michigan State and Notre Dame playing the second of this doubleheader. 2 winners playing tomorrow night. Here's the shot, no good. Tapped over to Jerry Calvert. Whipped up to Hatton. Spins by Pegas. Whips to Collinsworth, and it's knocked out of bounds by Hinnon of Pittsburgh. Ed Beck will put it in play over the baseline to the left of the basket. Moving out of bounds to get it. Calls his play. The pass is in to the left corner to Hatton. Pulls it up away from Don Hinnon. Passes out to Collinsworth to Calvert from 25 feet. A set shot's good. 6 field goals for Calvert, who matches the 6 by Vernon Hatton. And Kentucky has the first 10-point lead of the ball game, 48-38. Markovich of Pittsburgh in front court. Pivots, feeds Brodingham on the right side. Breaks to the baseline against Beck. Passes out to Hinnon. Flips over. Here's Markovich driving to the free throw line. Dropped the ball. Picked it up. Feeds to Pegas. Falls down. Goes to the floor, and he's tied up as Collinsworth and Hatton smother him. 1 minute and 37 seconds in the first half. Pegas of Pittsburgh stands 6'3". He's jumping against Kentucky's Collinsworth, who's also 6'3". Here's the tap by Collinsworth, who went up high in the air to tap it over to Hatton, up to Calvert. Moving in front court with a 10-point lead. Calvert moves down the right side. Gets his screen, doesn't use it. Passes out to Hatton over to Beck. Hatton goes off the left side. Beck spins, gives to Calvert. 30-foot set shot. It's good. 7 field goals for Calvert. Kentucky 50, Pittsburgh 38 as the Cats strike from the outside. Brodingham moves into the right corner for Pitt, out to Pegas. In the pivot to Reiser, spins by Mills, knocks it down and out of bounds. Goes to the Panthers, to the right of the basket, over the baseline. 1 minute in this ball game. Brodingham out of bounds, passes to Reiser in the corner, out front to Pegas. Passed into the pivot to Brodingham, a hook's no good, into the basket, Beck knocks it down, Hinnon picks it up for Pittsburgh and shoots high, and it is good. Hinnon has 4 field goals for the Panthers, cutting the Kentucky lead back to 10 points. Jerry Calvert with 45 seconds to go gives to Hatton moving in front court. Mills in on the pivot at the moment as Hatton moves down the right side from 20 feet, shoots way to the left, and Beck reaches out, gets the rebound, knocked away from him to Hinnon of Pittsburgh. He drives 2-on-2 against Hatton and Calvert. Down the right, and a hook is no good, tapped out by Reiser, and taking it off Collinsworth, tied up. Collinsworth. A foul against Pittsburgh as Collinsworth got into a scrap in there with a rebound. They grabbed a hold of him. And they're calling the foul against Don Hinnon of Pittsburgh, his second personal. They call the foul against 25. That could be either Hinnon or Collinsworth. Collinsworth, who has not scored, is on the free throw line. Kentucky, by the way, has its 50 points by 4 men. 5 men, rather. Only one starter didn't score. That was Krigler. Now the officials are going to get together. Under the Kentucky basket, they go into a conference. 29 seconds in this first half. Kentucky 50, Pitt 40. Collinsworth of Kentucky's in the free throw line. Hinnon bobbing back and forth just to his left as Collinsworth shoots no good. Tapped up by Mills, no good. Knocked down and out of bounds by Hinnon of Pittsburgh. Kentucky takes it over the baseline to the left of the basket. Wildcats have missed 5 free throws in this ballgame now. Passes into Calvert, brings it out to set it up with 17 seconds to go. Keeping it deep, wanting one shot with a 10-point lead. Down the left side to Mills, back to Calvert. 10 seconds to go. Calvert calls Hatton back, feeds Beck. He spins for the basket, and a foul goes against somebody. Let's see who it is. Charging by Beck of Kentucky. Beck broke for the basket and broke right into Brodingham of Pittsburgh. So Beck and Krigler, who's not in the game at the moment, each have 3 fouls. Brodingham is on the Pittsburgh free throw line for 1 shot. So Kentucky froze the ball for a single shot and didn't get it. They may lose 2 points. Brodingham, who hasn't missed, is at the free throw line. 7 seconds to go in this first half. Brodingham shoots good. So Kentucky's 12-point lead has been trimmed by 3, with a bonus shot coming to the 6'6" Barry Brodingham. He sights, and here she goes, short, and rolls over and in. So with 7 seconds to go, Kentucky may be able to get back by 10 points. Calvert in front court, moves by Hinnon from 20 feet, a jump shot's no good, and the first half is over. So at the end of the first half of play, the score, Kentucky 50, Pittsburgh 42, in a tremendously well-played ball game. In with 1-inch height advantage on the tap, and it goes to Calvert right at midcourt, and he moves in front court. Passes to Cox on the left side. Here's the jump shot. Good. Johnny Cox scored in 4 seconds. Kentucky leads 52-42. That's Johnny Cox's third field goal and 10th point of the ball game. Pegas of Pittsburgh in front court to Hirsch on the right side. Breaks out. Beck picks him up. He gives to Brodigan wide open, who missed it. Cox picks it off for the Wildcats. Pegas knocks it off his knee. Cox recovers for a 3-3 break and stops just in front court. Passes to Beck down the right to Hatton. Hatton sets it up with Beck on the pivot at the free throw line. Gives to him. Calvert goes by, hands to Hatton at the top of the circle. Fakes a shot and then takes it from 20 feet. No good. Way short and to the left of the basket. Hirsch rebounds for Pittsburgh. Over to Reiser, up to Hennon, moving in front court. Down the left corner to Pegas. Back to Hennon. Picked up by Beck. He hooks and hits. Hennon with his 5th field goal of the game leads Pittsburgh with 12 points now, as it's 52-44. Beck gets it at the free throw line, spins right, and he's fouled by Brodigan of Pittsburgh, who hit for the ball and hit Beck in the head. Correct us on it. Beck is being called for hitting Brodigan in the arm. It is the 4th foul on Ed Beck. No activity on the Kentucky bench, and no indication that Beck will be lifted. Now Krigler drops off the warm-up jacket, and we'll see Mills or Cox probably go to the pivot, as Barry Brodigan is on the Pittsburgh free throw line, where he hasn't missed in 4 tries. We've played less than a minute here in the second half, and Brodigan drops in the free throw to get the bonus shot. And checking in for Kentucky, John Krigler replacing Ed Beck. It means now that Pittsburgh will have height advantage on Kentucky. Tallest man on the floor is at the free throw line for Pitt right now, Barry Brodigan. He's 6'6". He shoots no good on a bonus shot. Johnny Cox rebounds. 52-45, Kentucky leads with Calvert back in front court. Down the right to Krigler, who takes a quick jump shot and no good. Bounces high off the rim, and Pittsburgh's Pegas rebounds. Out to Hirsch. Up in front court to Don Hennon. Moves in against Calvert, who picks him up at the free throw line, and he hooks it up too high this time. Fine rebound by John Krigler of Kentucky. Has it knocked away from him and taken away now as he's finally knocked to the floor. The fans boo the action as Brodigan of Pittsburgh grabbed Krigler around the head. Brodigan will have 3 inches height advantage at his own free throw line. Here's the tap. Krigler out-jumped him, tapping it over to Vernon Hatton. Moves up across the mid-court line to the top rim of the circle, and a jump shot by Hatton is short, no good. Rebounding Reiser of Pittsburgh, and Krigler tied him up. A holding foul is called against Reiser of Pittsburgh. It's the second foul on 6'4" John Reiser, with Krigler going to the Kentucky free throw line. Krigler shooting 1, gets his first point of the ball game. He's hit 1 and missed 1 as he goes in for the bonus shot. 18 minutes and 32 seconds in the ball game. Kentucky has an 8-point lead. Krigler hits the bonus shot, and it's 54-45. Don Hennon giving to Pegas, moving in front court for Pittsburgh, down the left side. Over to Hennon. Fakes to the right side, then leads Pegas. Hatton knocks it up in the air. Picked up by Brodigan to the left. Back to Hennon, wide open at the free throw line. He drops it in. Hennon with his 6th field goal, and Pittsburgh moves back within 7 points. Calvert of Kentucky over the midcourt stripe. Down the right to Krigler. Back out to Calvert to Cox from 25 feet. A jump shot, good. That's 4 field goals for Johnny Cox, and Kentucky leads 56-47. Pegas in front court for the Panthers. Breaks down the left side, and Krigler takes the ball away from him. Starts a 2-1 break with Calvert, and it's knocked up into the air and out to the left corner, where Calvert recovers and has it knocked out of bounds by Reiser of Pitt. Kentucky will put it in play on the left side of the offensive court. Calvert out of bounds. Hatton playing deep. Gets the pass. Cox is in the pivot now for the Wildcats with Beck out. Hatton breaks to the white and lays it in. Hatton, he's knocked to the floor on the play with a foul against Pittsburgh. The goal's good, but Hatton is down and hurt. That quickly brings Coach Adolph Rupp, trainer Rusty Payne, assistant coach Harry Lancaster off the bench to check over Hatton. Pittsburgh has been getting extremely rough in this second half, and now here's some of the fruits of it, as Hatton was really cracked one under the basket. The field goal by Vernon Hatton has been his 7th of the ball game, to equal the 7 by Calvert. Brodigan is being tagged with a personal. It's his first of the game. Hatton is up on his feet. He was shaken up plenty on that as Brodigan poured the pine to him. He'll go in for 1 free throw. Hatton at the line for 1 free throw. Hatton stands in. Two-handed free throw from between the knees is short. He shows the effects of being chilled in there. Pittsburgh gets the rebound with Hirsch moving back in front court. Over to Reiser. Down in the left corner to Pegas, who breaks out. Here's a jump shot by Hennon, left wide open, and it's no good. Mills rebounds, gets a fist in the face there, or a hand. Up to Calvert, high one to Krigler on the right side, and a foul. Krigler charging, and it is his fourth foul. Beck and Krigler have each committed 4 personals. Coach Adolph Rupp telling Ed Beck something on the bench as they discuss the play. Lafayette is leading Dixie Heights at the end of 3 quarters of play, 53-44. Reiser of Pittsburgh shooting 1, hits. Long time left in this ball game, 17 minutes, 21 seconds. Reiser shooting a bonus shot good. Score now is 58-49. Kentucky leading Pittsburgh. Johnny Cox on the left side, passing back to Calvert. Top of the circle set shot, short. Rebounding up, Krigler no good. Hatton takes it off, fakes a hook, passes out to Calvert. Down the left corner to Hatton. Hatton out front to Calvert. Calvert in the pivot to Cox. Here's a hook. No good. Rebounding Hirsch of Pittsburgh as we move into the last 17 minutes of the ball game. Hennon left wide open again. Takes a 10-footer. No good. Calvert rebounds. Calvert must be doing this deliberately. He's letting Hennon go open. Now moves up in front court with defensive pressure from Hennon. Down the right to Krigler, back to Calvert, over to Hatton, down the left to Cox. In the pivot to Mills. He fakes a hook, gets by Brodigan, and is fouled as he jumps to shoot. Hirsch of Pittsburgh drawing his 3rd personal. Now, before the free throws, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky. The time in 10 seconds, 8:30.
Ray Mills hits the free throw, the first of 2, as Kentucky takes a 10-point edge. The Wildcats had one lead of 12 points, 50-38. Mills misses the second one, and Hirsch, who committed the foul, gets the rebound for Pittsburgh. Over to Pegas in front court to Brodigan against Mills. He hooks no good. Hatton rebound, shoots it over to Krigler. Knocked down by Pegas, picked up by Krigler, and a foul is called. Or a jump. There are 4 men on the floor fighting for it. 3 of them Panthers, 1 Wildcat Krigler. Krigler 6'3" is going against Hirsch, and it gives Pittsburgh 1-inch height advantage. 16.5 minutes in the ball game. Tap goes to Pegas, taken away from him by Calvert. Up in front court to Hatton. Moves into the free throw line, pulls up for a jump shot. That's to the left, no good. Krigler taps, no good. Hatton moves in and gets it, hooks out to Calvert. Hennon stabs and misses. He gives to Mills, drops the ball, and it's taken away from him by Reiser of Pittsburgh, and they got it 3-on-2 against Calvert and Hatton. Hennon to Reiser, drives down the middle and lays it in. Reiser, with his 3rd field goal of the ball game, pulls Pittsburgh to within 8 points, 59-51, with 16 minutes to play. Hatton in front court to Krigler on the right side, out to Calvert. He sets from 30 feet, and he misses. Here's a tap by Mills with a foul called under the Kentucky basket on Pittsburgh. Hirsch is pushing Cox. So Hirsch of Pittsburgh has 4 fouls, as does Krigler and Beck of Kentucky. 1 shot to Johnny Cox. 15 minutes and 52 seconds to play as Dennis Dorman of Pittsburgh gets ready to come in for Hirsch. Cox drops in the free throw and has a bonus coming. Dorman, a 6'6" junior, played in the first half but didn't score, and Hirsch comes out. Johnny Cox of Kentucky with a bonus try coming. Cox has 15 points for the Wildcats. His bonus shot is good, and it's 61-51 in favor of the Wildcats. Pegas of Pittsburgh back in front court, down the right side. Picked up by Ray Mills, passes to Reiser, facing Krigler, back to Pegas on the right side. Out front to Hennon, down the left to Dorman. Dorman moves out front, pivots, passes over to Reiser, breaks in on Krigler, and the foul is blocking Krigler, his 5th one, that's it. John Krigler fouls out of the ball game with 15 minutes and 35 seconds to play. Krigler comes out with 2 points, 2 out of 3 on the free throw line. Coming in to replace him is Johnny Brewer, who has not been in the game previously. He will be the 8th Kentuckian to play. Stands 6'3", weighs 182. Brewer is a 21-year-old senior from Anchorage. He played his high school basketball at Eastern, which won the state tournament game to move into the semifinals this afternoon. Brewer this season has scored 75 points for an average of 3.4 a game. His best night was against Georgia Tech here at the Coliseum when he got 12. Pittsburgh's John Reiser is on the free throw line. He's hit 9 out of 10. Shooting 1. Free throw good. Pittsburgh moves within 9 points of the Wildcats as Reiser stands in for the bonus shot. Pegas backed up near midcourt in safety as Reiser sights and hits. Kentucky 61, Pittsburgh 53. Ray Mills hands to Calvert with Hennon playing right on him. He passes up to Hatton, moving in front court. Down the left to Cox in the corner. Takes a jump shot that's no good. Calvert taps, Mills goes forward, can't get it, knocked up in the air. Cox has it knocked away from him. And man, the play under the basket is very aggressive and rough. Reiser down the left side for Pitt, guarded by Johnny Brewer. Gives off to Hennon, pulls up for that jump shot that's no good. Cox rebounding, giving it over to Vernon Hatton. High one in front court to Brewer down the left side. Gives the bad pass to Mills. It's out of bounds to Pitt. 15 minutes in the ball game. Kentucky holding an 8-point lead. They've been out front by 12 one time. Back in front court now. Pegas works the left corner to Dorman. Out to Hennon. High one in the pivot to Gorb. He hooks good and fouled by Ray Mills. Goals count. Second personal on Ray Mills. Brodingham getting his 4th field goal of the game. Now with the free throw coming, he can pull Pittsburgh within 5 points. The shot's no good, but Mills rebounds for Kentucky, passing to Calvert. Up to Brewer in the right corner for the Cats. Takes a jump shot. No good. Off the rim to Pegas, who dropped it, but picked it up, giving to Hennon. Pittsburgh moving in on the Wildcats. 61-55 as Hennon shoots no good. Hatton is grabbed around the neck by Dorman, and the foul is on Dorman of Pittsburgh, his 3rd foul. Here's a late score just in from Philadelphia. North Carolina has conquered Canisius by 12 points. North Carolina 85, Canisius 75. Syracuse and Lafayette are playing the second game of the NCAA Regional at Philadelphia tonight. But North Carolina has won by 12 points to move on out into tomorrow night's quarterfinals. Hatton at the Kentucky free throw line has hit 2 out of 3. Shooting 1, it's good. A bonus shot to the 6'3" junior guard of the Wildcats. Kentucky with a 7-point lead. As Hatton shoots good, it's 63-55. Now Pegas of Pittsburgh back in front court. On the left side to Reiser. Back out to Pegas, over to Hennon, playing to the right. Back to Pegas, top of the circle. He gives to Reiser on the left side. Back out to Pegas, breaks in against Hatton. Pulls up, can't get a shot away. Out to Hennon, who takes a 25-foot one-hander. Good. Hennon gets his 7th field goal of the game. Pittsburgh is now within 6 points. Here's Johnny Cox moving to the baseline. Takes a hook shot. It's no good. Reiser rebounds for Pittsburgh. Up the way to Hennon as Kentucky is unable to hit through this stretch. Hennon against Hatton, hooks wildly and misses. Rebound taken off by Dorman and laid in for his first field goal of the ball game. And now Pittsburgh trails by just 4 points. 63-59 as we move into the last 14 minutes. Timeout, Kentucky. It is the second timeout of the game for the Wildcats as Ed Beck comes in at center. 13 minutes and 53 seconds in the ball game. Kentucky has not had a field goal in 4 minutes. That was a 20-foot jump shot by Johnny Cox, and they have played 4 minutes without an additional field goal. And Pittsburgh is now moved to within 4 points. It's 63-59. As a matter of fact, Kentucky in 6 minutes and 7 seconds has scored only 3 field goals, which means that it's taking them virtually 2 minutes to get a field goal. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, has picked up 6 and double the field goal production of the Wildcats here in the second half as Kentucky's shooting is way off. Well, we have another report for you from Louisville. There are 2 minutes in the ball game, and Lafayette has moved out in front of Dixie Heights 72-56, and Bill Lickert has picked up 31 points. Lafayette 72, Dixie Heights 56, Lickert 31 points. Kentucky's ball at midcourt as we go back to play. Pittsburgh has outscored the Wildcats by 4 points in the second half. As Ed Beck takes over the pivot, Johnny Brewer has come out. Pittsburgh had lined up in offensive court. John Reiser pulls him back into backcourt as Kentucky's Vernon Hatton passes to Cox. Back to Hatton setting it up. Beck at the baseline comes out. Hatton gives to him. Back to Hatton from 15 feet. His shot's good. So the timeout, and Hatton comes quickly back with his 8th field goal of the game to lead in that department. It's 65-59 for Kentucky. Reiser on the right side for Pittsburgh. Out to Don Hennon. Down the right to Pegas. Most of the free throw line. Fires into the basket beautifully to Dorman, who lays it in for his 2nd straight field goal. 65-61. Pittsburgh behind 4 points. Hatton in front court. Most to the right. Pulls up, passes to Calvert at the top of the circle. He moves to the left. Pegas falls down, trying to act out a foul as Calvert shoots. Good. That's 8 field goals to Calvert, and Kentucky leads 67-61 with 13 minutes to go. Pegas drives, gives to Reiser, driving, and he charges into Ray Mills, and it is Mills blocking. That's the 3rd foul on Ray Mills, and 1 shot comes to John Reiser. Kentucky with a 6-point advantage on Pittsburgh as Reiser sights for the mark and shoots good. Reiser has picked up 12 out of 13 here on the free throw line. The net was hanging a little crooked on the Pitt basket, and Beck moved out, obliging the officials by jerking it down. Now Reiser with a bonus shot. Hits. 67-63, and for the 3rd time, Pittsburgh is within 4 points. Hatton in front court. Lets Beck have time to get into the pivot. Moves quickly to the right, using Beck as a screen. Goes for the basket and drops the ball, picks it up, cut off, hooks a high one out to Calvert at the top rim of the circle. He waits for Hatton to come out. Passes to Beck, goes by, back to Hatton from 20 feet. The shot is shortened to the right. Reiser has it, but Cox knocked it away out of bounds. Kentucky 67, Pittsburgh 63, and the Panthers are on the move. Reiser in front court, the big 6'4", 200-pound forward. Over to Pegas, hands to Hennon, gets the screen, moves to the left, passes back to Pegas. He's open at the top of the circle, but back to Hennon. The quick one-handed shot's good. Hennon has 8 field goals. It's 67-65 as Kentucky's lead is down to 2 points. Here's Mills dropping the ball out of bounds, and a foul goes against Pittsburgh. Dennis Dorman drawing his 4th one of the ball game. Into the lineup, Charles Hirsch of Pittsburgh. Going out is Brodigam. 12 minutes and 18 seconds to play as Ray Mills goes to the Kentucky free throw line. He's hit 1 and missed 2. 12 minutes and 18 seconds yet to play. Lafayette has beaten Dixie Heights 15 points. Here's Mills' free throw, no good. Hirsch rebounds for Pittsburgh. It means Lafayette joins Eastern and Russell County in the semifinals tomorrow. Here's Reiser in front court for Pittsburgh. A chance to tie up this ball game now for the first time in the 2nd half. Pegas over to Reiser, breaks in against Ray Mills and lays it up, no good, but Mills fouled him. And for Ray Mills, that's 4 of them. Now Kentucky has got 2 men on the floor, each with 4 fouls. Mills and Beck. Kentucky has been very, very flat this 2nd half as John Reiser is at the free throw line. He's hit 13 out of 14, and he's shooting 2. First shot good. Now the ball game can be tied by the 6'4" Pittsburgh forward. Pittsburgh has had it all their way in the 2nd half as it's tied up now 67-all. Well, Kentucky is in serious trouble now, although on even terms they have been fading while Pittsburgh has been coming. Here's Hatton moving to the right. Takes a 20-foot jump shot, and it's good. Vernon Hatton gets his 9th field goal. Kentucky moves back in front, 69-67. Hennon of Pittsburgh in front court over to Pegas. Hatton playing him loosely as he moves out to the top of the circle over to Dorman. Down the right to Reiser. Reiser moves out, gives to Hirsch. He goes right down the middle, gets away from Cox and missed the shot, but Reiser taps it in. 4 field goals for Reiser, and Pittsburgh catches Kentucky at 69-all. Hatton moving up in front court now. Angling to the right, giving to Calvert. Moves to the left, gives to Cox. Moves to the left against Pegas. Pulls up, here's the hook, good. Johnny Cox with his 5th field goal puts Kentucky in front 71-69. Pegas in front court for Pitt. Pulls up at the top of the circle, gives to Hennon. Back to Pegas. Moves to the right. Hands in the corner to Dorman. Out front to Reiser. Breaks against Mills. Gets away and lays it up, no good. Hirsch rebounds. Passes out, and here's Dorman shooting, no good. Hatton rebounds for Kentucky. Over to Beck. Moves it up. Passes to Hatton. He comes on in front court. Angles to the right, back to the free throw line, and a jump shot with a whistle on the play. The shot's no good, but a Pittsburgh foul. Let's see who it's against. Reiser has been checked with his third personal. Dorman is coming out of the Pittsburgh lineup, and Barry Brodigam is back in. 10 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Kentucky leading Pittsburgh by 2 points as Beck goes to the Kentucky free throw line. Beck has not hit a free throw in 2 tries. He shoots good. Kentucky leads by 3 points. Beck's bonus shot good. Kentucky 73, Pittsburgh 69. On the left side, Reiser hands off to Pegas, breaking for the basket, laying it in. Pegas blowing right down there for his 5th field goal. Makes it 73-71 with 10.5 minutes in the ball game. Hatton gives in. Calvert drives, and he's tripped by Don Hennon of Pittsburgh, and the ball goes out to Pitt. The fans boo the decision lustily as Calvert was tripped. Pegas takes a 20-foot set shot. It's no good. Rebounding and hooking up Reiser, no good. Ray Mills rebounds, gives it to Johnny Cox, who moves up in front court. Nobody to help him out, and 2 men against him. He stops and passes out to Mills. Over to Calvert, who moves into Kentucky's court, limping slightly. In the pivot to Cox, he takes a 15-foot hook. Good. Johnny Cox with a swooping 15-foot hook shot. His 6th field goal of the game, and Calvert is hurt. Here's Odie Smith coming off the Kentucky bench as timeout is taken by the officials with Hennon shooting. Pittsburgh had called timeout, and Calvert is hurt. Calvert was tripped by Don Hennon. Calvert now is complaining to the official that he was tripped, but of course that does virtually little good. Calvert has to come out of the ball game. Well, to show you how rough Pittsburgh has been playing, Vernon Hatton was virtually knocked cold in this half of play and slowed him up for quite a stretch. Now Jerry Calvert has been tripped, and no telling how long he will be slowed for. At least, seriously enough, he's had to be taken out of the ball game. In to replace him, Adrian Smith, who has not appeared previously. Smith, a 19-year-old junior from Farmington, stands 6 feet, weighs 178. He has scored 56 points, an average of 7.8 a game. His best night in Atlanta when he got 24 against Georgia Tech. Pittsburgh is in possession at midcourt when we go back to play with Kentucky leading 75-71. It's really been a rough ball game. Adrian Smith joins Vernon Hatton at a guard with Ed Beck in the pivot, Ray Mills and John Cox at the forwards. Beck and Mills playing with 4 fouls. Krigler's already fouled out. Hirsch and Dorman, who's not in the game for Pittsburgh, have each committed 4. Kentucky is ready to go as Reiser passes to Hennon just in backcourt. Back to Reiser. Adrian Smith has been put on Hennon, the high scorer. Over to Pegas, breaks in, passes on the right side to Brodigan. Brodigan passes out deep to Pegas again. Off the left side to Reiser. Mills loosens up, and he passes out to Pegas. Pegas gives into the pivot to Brodigan, back to Pegas. Jump shot short, no good. Hatton rebounds, knocked away. Beck scoops it up in the corner, hands to Adrian Smith. Johnny Cox was wide open, but they didn't see him. Down in front court, here's Hatton. Down the left side to Cox, out to Adrian Smith. He sets, moves right, gets a screen, a 20-foot jump shot, no good. Taken off by Reiser, knocked away by Beck, picked up by Cox, and a foul on Pegas of Pittsburgh, who knocked Cox to the floor. It's a 3rd foul on Julius Pegas, and Johnny Cox goes up. 9 minutes and 11 seconds to play. Reiser just now getting up off the floor. Cox will have 2 free throws for Kentucky. 9 minutes and 11 seconds in this ball game. Kentucky with a 4-point lead. Cox's first free throw is no good. He had hit 10 in a row. Jerry Calvert still getting attention to that ankle. Here's Cox with his second try, and it's good, just barely. 76-71, Kentucky with a 5-point lead. Up in front court is Hennon, passing left side and into the corner to Reiser. Reiser with Mills loosening up, playing with 4 personals on him, spins in under the basket and lays it up good. Reiser has 5 field goals. He's been the backbone of this Pittsburgh attack here in the second half. 76-73, Kentucky with a 3-point advantage as Cox passes to Adrian Smith out to Hatton. Hatton loosened up on there by Reiser. Takes a 25-foot one-hander, go in and out and back in. That's 10 field goals for Vernon Hatton as Kentucky leads 78-73. Ball game was tied up 69 all. Here's Pegas getting away from Hatton and laying it in. His 6th field goal, and Pittsburgh's back within 3 points. 8.5 minutes to go as Hatton moves in front court. Down the right to Mills, who takes a 15-foot jump shot in and out, and Pittsburgh's Don Hennon gets the rebound. High went to Reiser, wide open. He dropped it, picked it up, and lays it in. So Pittsburgh right now is outrunning Kentucky, and the Panthers are within 1 point. 78-77 as Adrian Smith in front court. Pulls up on the right side deep and passes to Hatton. Down the left to Cox, who fakes a shot, moves into the left corner, passes back to Hatton. Kentucky has not been running the second half, and they have virtually lost the 8-point lead. Just one of it left. Hatton backs away deep. Mills moves out. Hatton yells something to him, and Hennon, took the ball away from him. How about that? Hennon breaks in and misses. Hatton rebounds. Holds on, 3-man go for him. He gives over to Smith. Kentucky has got a 4-on-2 fast break. Adrian Smith from 15 feet shoots no good. Back taps it up, and it's good. Vernon Hatton said something to Ray Mills, and they took the ball away from Hatton, just missing going ahead. The 3rd field goal for Beck makes it 80-77, with Hennon hooking one up that's no good. Rebounding Brodigan by Pittsburgh. He hooks no good. Rebounding Cox of Kentucky. He's fouled. Man, they're still slugging him. How about that? Now the Pittsburgh bench is drawing a warning. Boy, they were beating Cox to death then. One man had him holding him and the other man slugging him, and Hirsch is going out of the ball game on 5 personal fouls. 7 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Man, Pittsburgh's the roughest ball club we've seen this year. Hirsch fouls out of the game with 1 point. Ray Mills comes out of the Kentucky lineup. Johnny Brewer's replacing him. Johnny Cox on the Kentucky free throw line for 1 try as the Cats lead by 3 points. They line up around the free throw circle to make sure defensive assignments are correct, since each team makes 1 change in the lineup. Now Cox on the Kentucky free throw line with Calvert coming off the Kentucky bench after being hurt. Cox hits the free throw, and Calvert comes in at guard, replacing Adrian Smith. Calvert was hurt. Hatton has been hurt. Kentucky with a 4-point edge as Cox stands in for a bonus try at the free throw line. He shoots it up good. Kentucky 82, Pittsburgh 77. Pegas of the Panthers back in front court. Down the left corner to Reiser. He's got Johnny Brewer on him now. Breaks out against Brewer. Pulls up. Passes it to Pegas. Into the pivot. Brodigan hooks. No good. Knocked down, taken by Brodigan, who hooks. No good. And a foul is called. It's a foul against Dorman of Pittsburgh now for hitting with his elbow, and that's his 5th foul. And the Pittsburgh coach is out on the floor screaming. So that's the 3rd man to foul out. 2 of them have been Panthers. Dorman comes out with 4 points on 2 field goals. Dorman, these last 2 fouls have simply been slugging fouls. That's all you could call them for Pittsburgh under their own basket. Into the ball game, making his first appearance of the night, is David Sawyer, a 20-year-old sophomore from Mount Morris, New York. He's 6'6", weighs 180. Scored 36 points this year for a 2.3 average. Ed Beck is on the Kentucky free throw line, where he has hit 2 and missed 2. 6 minutes and 54 seconds to play. Pittsburgh has had 2 men foul out in the last 20 seconds. Now Beck at the free throw line, shooting good. Kentucky moves in front 83-77. A bonus shot to Beck, the tallest man on either squad. Beck shoots into the rim, no good. Moves out, gets the rebound to Hatton, and from 25 feet, he misses. Tapped outside, Calvert's got it at the free throw line. Pivots, hands out to Hatton, over to Brewer from 15 feet. He misses. Moves in, Reiser gets the rebound for Pittsburgh. Kentucky getting a lot of shots, but unable to get one drop as Pittsburgh takes over, trailing by 6 points. Reiser in front court, pulls up at the free throw line, facing Johnny Brewer. Over to Brodigan on the right side. A moves out, gives to Pegas, who shoots, no good from the top of the circle, tapped out by Beck. It's picked up by Pegas from 5 feet. He misses. Now rebounding, Johnny Brewer knocks the ball away and out of bounds, away from Sawyer, and Pittsburgh gets it to the left of the basket. Pass comes in to Reiser, who breaks down the middle and charges into Johnny Brewer and lays it in. They're going to give him the field goal. Foul on Johnny Brewer of Kentucky is his first one. Reiser getting his 7th field goal, and a free throw coming as Pittsburgh moves to within 4 points of Kentucky. 6 minutes, 16 seconds to play. Here's the shot. Good. 83-80. Kentucky with a 3-point lead. Brewer in front court is fouled by Reiser, who hit him right in the back. His 4th foul. Now Johnny Brewer goes to the Kentucky free throw line for the first time. Brewer will have 1 try coming. He hasn't scored. Brewer shoots. Good. Kentucky leads by 4 points. Brewer checks over his shoulder to make sure there are no Panthers in backcourt. Hatton's back there, so he pumps the bonus shot good. Kentucky 85, Pittsburgh 80. Off the Pittsburgh bench, Bob Laser. It's waiting to get in as Reiser out deep with the ball, trying to get it set up the way he wants it. Gives over to Hennon on the left side, who shoots. Good. Don Hennon with his 9th field goal pulls Pittsburgh within 3 points, 85-82. Laser's got a bad left knee, and we can't see for him warming up in front of us. Here's Hatton outside, moving to the right from 15 feet. He shoots no good. Cox taps the rebound down, and it's out of bounds opposite Pegas. Ed Beck will put it in play. Calvert breaks, gets it, lays it in, driving. Jerry Calvert with his 9th field goal sends Kentucky in front 87-82. Pegas moving in front court for Pitt, passing to Reiser on the right side. He moves out, fakes, breaks, spins away, and shoots no good. A foul against Reiser for charging. And boy, does he blow his top. That's all of it for Reiser. He's the 3rd Panther to foul out of the ball game. Reiser going out. He goes out with a total of 30 points. He hit 16 out of 17 free throws and 7 field goals. He went wild here in the second half. He had 19 points here in the second half. Brewer on the Kentucky free throw line shooting good. Lazor, Bob Laser in the Pittsburgh lineup. He's 6'6", weighs 210, 21-year-old senior from Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. Brewer's bonus shot's good. Kentucky 89, Pittsburgh 82. Here's Don Hennon now racing Calvert into front court. Turn to the right side, takes that jump shot, and it's good. Tremendous shooter, this Don Hennon, with his 10th field goal. Calvert out of bounds, passes to Hatton. Kentucky with a 5-point lead. Hatton moving back in front court. Moves to the left, flips over to Cox. 20-foot jump shot, no good. Tapping Beck, just missing. Pittsburgh gets the rebound. Beck knocks it down, and it is taken off. Outside, still fighting for it. Pittsburgh's got it 4-on-1 against Calvert, and shooting Laser misses. Pegas taps no good. 4 men are on the floor. One of the officials is down. Here's Hennon shooting no good. Now moving in, taking a hook shot. Laser lays it up, and it's good. It is Sawyer getting the field goal. We had 4 players and an official down that time. That's how rough this thing is. Kentucky has a 3-point lead. Beck to Calvert, goes in. It's knocked away, picked up by Calvert. Bounced out to Brewer from 20 feet. A jump shot is good. First field goal for Johnny Brewer. Kentucky 91, Pittsburgh 86. 4 minutes, 14 seconds to go. Pegas driving against Hatton, lays it in. Pegas has 7 field goals in this wild woolly game. Now here is Hennon taking it away from Calvert, and from 25 feet he hits. And look out, here comes Pittsburgh. Timeout, Kentucky. 4 minutes to go, and Kentucky leads by 1 point. The Wildcats have called their 3rd timeout. Well, this has been a tremendous ball game here at the Coliseum in Lexington. Kentucky had an 8-point lead at halftime, 50-42. And Pittsburgh has gone on a stampede here in the second half. And they're now within 1 point, 91-90 of Kentucky. The Wildcats shooting has been way off, and Pittsburgh has taken the initiative. They are the more aggressive team in this second half. We got exactly 4 minutes to play. Pittsburgh has lost 3 men on personal fouls. Kentucky has lost 1, John Krigler. However, Beck and Ray Mills have committed 4. Well, Kentucky has the ball under the Pittsburgh basket with a 91-90 lead and 4 minutes to go. It's a tense situation here at the Coliseum in Lexington. Out of bounds to put it in play is Jerry Calvert. Pittsburgh has been stealing the ball from the Wildcats, as Hennon did just then. Now Hatton back in front court for the Wildcats. Calls back out, moves down to the right, pulls up, bounce pass out to Calvert. Calvert moves to the right and comes back out. Got Hennon guarding him very closely. Down the right to Hatton. In the pivot to Beck, back to Hatton. Moves in, fakes a shot, gives to Johnny Brewer. Outside to Calvert. Down the right side, he brings it back out. 3.5 minutes to go. Down the right to Beck, out to Hatton. Hatton from 25 feet misses. Everything out of bounds to Pittsburgh. Now they've got the ball trailing by only 1 point. As Kentucky has quit running and tried to hit from the outside, they've been unable to score. Now here is Hennon back in front court for the Panthers with a chance to go ahead. Calvert hooked it away from him and out of bounds. Don Hennon of Pittsburgh on the right side passes deep to Pegas. Breaks to the left side, staying deep with the ball. There are 3 minutes to go. Kentucky leading 91-90. Down the left side it goes to Sawyer. Over to Hennon, to Pegas. Down the right, Laser moves out. Fakes, turns, jump shot over Beck is no good. Short, Beck rebounds. Passing over to Vernon Hatton, who moves up in front court. Sawyer goes for him. Pegas goes for him. He passes to Cox. A 15-foot jump shot's good. Johnny Cox gets his 7th field goal. Kentucky 93, Pitt 90. 2.5 minutes to go. Pegas in front court. Breaks to the free throw line. Comes outside to Hennon. Hennon back to Pegas on the right. Out to Hennon. Hennon from 20 feet. Misses. Calvert rebounds, passing over to Hatton. Slowly moving up the back court. Now past the dividing line. Timeout, Kentucky. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go, and Kentucky has called timeout number 4. Kentucky leading 93-90 over Pittsburgh. And with the timeout, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky, 20 seconds past 9 o'clock.
Back to the Coliseum here in Lexington, where Pittsburgh trails Kentucky by 3 points. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Well, we have no further word from Louisville other than that Lafayette has beaten Dixie Heights by 15 points, 75-60. Billy Lickard scoring 31 points. As we go back to play, Pittsburgh has the ball. Or rather, Kentucky has the ball at midcourt after having just now taken their 4th timeout. Pittsburgh has called only 1 timeout. Kentucky lines up everybody right along the midcourt stripe. The pass is to Hatton in backcourt over to Johnny Brewer, moving up past the line. Over to Vernon Hatton. Hatton is deep with it. Saying something to Calvert. Pivoting, moving to the right, passing over to Beck, back to Hatton. Hatton brings it back out front. Sawyer on him closely. He gives to Calvert on the right side with Hennon staying right with him. Calvert moves in, gets 2 men on him, passes out to Hatton, fakes an outside shot, gives a deep one to Cox in the right corner. Cox moves it out deep right in back of Hennon, who turns and misses a stab at the ball. Out to Calvert to Hatton, back to Calvert with 1 minute, 45 seconds to go. Kentucky on a stall in Pittsburgh trying to get 2 substitutes in. Calvert moves to the right. Hennon stabs. Hits a little of the ball, doesn't hurt it though. Calvert slips and falls, and Pittsburgh's got the ball with a foul and a jump ball rather being called. Hennon and Calvert will jump. 1 minute, 32 seconds to go. John Neve, L-A-N-E-V-E, 22-year-old senior from Newell, West Virginia, in the Pittsburgh lineup for Bob Laser. He's 6 feet, weighs 170, scored 8 points, average of 1 per game. David Sawyer has come out. Milan Markovich is now in the Pittsburgh lineup. Calvert and Hennon jumping. Calvert at 5'11" will have 2 inches height advantage. the two centers now move in to line up against each other and get defensive assignments definite. We have 1 minute and 32 seconds to go. Kentucky leads Pittsburgh 93-90. Jumping on the Kentucky free throw line. We're ready to go. Important possession play. Tap goes over to Pegas of Pittsburgh. Driving in against Vernon Hatton. He turns his back to him. Passes out to Markovich. Over to Hennon. He's wide open from 20 feet, and he missed it. Ed Beck rebounds. Fires it out to Jerry Calvert. Over to Cox on a fast break. He's fouled by Pegas of Pittsburgh. That's his fourth foul. 1 minute, 16 seconds to go, and Johnny Cox of Kentucky will be at the free throw line for two shots. Now Johnny Cox pitching the Sox as he stands in for two very important free throws. Kentucky with only a 3-point lead. Hatton and Markovich are back of the circle as Cox's first shot is no good. The shot was short. Cox has missed only 2 free throws while hitting 11. He's up for a second shot. It's good. Kentucky 94, Pittsburgh 90. Panthers have got the ball. Markovich in front court. Breaks to the right, gives to Pegas, goes for the basket and lays it up, no good. Beck knocks it down. The ball is out of bounds, but Beck fouled, and that's all of it for Ed Beck. 1 minute and 6 seconds to play, and Ed Beck fouls out. 9 points, 3 field goals, and 3 out of 6 free throws. Ray Mills with 4 personals on him coming in the ball game. We've had 5 men foul out of the game. Hirsch, Reiser, and Dorman of Pittsburgh. Beck and Krigler of Kentucky. And Mills coming in with 4 personals. John Leneve is on the Pittsburgh free throw line for 1 shot. Leneve, just in the ball game, has not scored. Just 1 minute, 6 seconds to play with Kentucky in front, 94-90. Now Leneve on the line for Pitt. Shoots. No good. Ray Mills gets the rebound. Passes to Calvert. Pittsburgh picks him up. Hennon corners him. He can't get the pass and throws it right to Markovich of Pittsburgh. It's knocked down by Hatton and took away by Cox. Cox drives for the basket and he hooks it up. No good. Pegas of Pittsburgh knocks it down. He's got it. Rips it up to Hennon down to the left against Vernon Hatton from 10 feet. He shoots. No good. Slapped up, no good by Markovich. Now taking it off is got him over to Markovich. Jump shot, good. Markovich with his first field goal. Kentucky with just a 2-point lead. Here's the pass to Johnny Brewer. He's fouled from the rear by Don Hennon of Pittsburgh. 43 seconds to play. All the fans here in the Coliseum are on their feet right at this moment. Kentucky leading Pittsburgh 94-92. Johnny Brewer is on the Kentucky free throw line for 1 shot. Pittsburgh putting the pressure on Kentucky in backcourt. Got the ball that time. Now Brewer at the free throw line for the Cats. Sights the shot. Good. Johnny Brewer's got a bonus try coming. A chance to give Kentucky a 4-point edge. Here he is, ready to go. Brewer sights the shot. Good. Kentucky 96, Pittsburgh 92. Markovich racing back in front court for the Panthers. Gives down the left side. Leneve moves into the corner, passes to Pegas. Outside to Hennon, 33 seconds to go as Hennon hooks one up that's no good. Vernon Hatton rebound. The ball knocked away is out of bounds to Pittsburgh. 25-24, clock on the move. Markovich out of bounds for the Panthers. Looks for somebody open. Gives to Pegas. Over to Hennon. A 15-foot shot is no good. Rolls off. Ray Mills got it for Kentucky, and he's immediately fouled. And the ball knocked away, but out of bounds by Pittsburgh. And it goes over to Kentucky. 10 seconds to go. Pass to Johnny Brewer. He's immediately fouled by Hennon, and this one is called on Hennon, his 4th one. The Pittsburgh coach out on the bench, out on the floor now, throwing the towel. The players out on the floor. 10 seconds to go. Johnny Brewer goes back to the Kentucky free throw line. Well, the Kentucky fans here in Lexington tonight are understanding what the Moorhead people meant when they came back home and told of the game with Pittsburgh at Columbus, Ohio. Johnny Brewer's on the Kentucky free throw line. He's got 1 try, and it's good. That makes it 5 points. 10 seconds yet to play. Brewer bonus shot. It's good. That's 4 in a row for Johnny Brewer to put Kentucky in front by 6. Leneve, Pittsburgh from 25 feet misses. Vernon Hatton rebounds. Comes out of there with it and shoots a long one as the ball game ends. Oh, man! Vernon Hatton almost hit a 70-foot field goal. It hit the back of the rim, bounced high in the air. Kentucky is the winner. Well, you sure couldn't ask for a better ball game than that. Kentucky 98, Pittsburgh 92 in a tremendous game as we get ready now to watch Notre Dame and Michigan State try for it. Johnny Cox walking through the Pittsburgh players to shake hands after Kentucky has posted a 6-point win for its 16th win in 21 NCAA tournament games. Individual scoring in just a moment. Standard Oil dealers offer you your choice of 3 fine gasolines. Crown regular grade, Crown Extra Premium Gasoline, and Standard Oil's new Super Crown Extra, the first gasoline available in this area, designed to get top performance and mileage from higher compression motors, new or old. With 3 Standard Oil gasolines for you to choose from, you do not have to pay a penny for quality you cannot use. One of Standard Oil's 3 gasolines is best for your car. Only you, by use, can tell which. Try a full tank of Super Crown Extra. Then decide whether the improved performance and mileage is worth the small extra cost to you. Well, here's the individual scoring. Ed Beck had 9 points. 3 field goals, 3 out of 6 free throws. He fouled out 1 minute and 6 seconds to go. Jerry Calvert contributed 18 points, 14 of them in the first half. He had 9 field goals. He didn't get a trip to the free throw line. Johnny Cox ended up with 26 points. Cox had 7 field goals, and on the free throw line, he hit 12 out of 14. Abe Collinsworth was in the ball game but didn't score. John Krigler had 2 points as he hit 2 out of 3 on the free throw line and fouled out with 15 minutes, 35 seconds to play. Adrian Smith was in the ball game and didn't score. Vernon Hatton had 24 points for Kentucky, 10 field goals, 4 out of 5 on the free throw line. Ray Mills in a reserve role picked up 9 points, 4 field goals, 1 out of 4 at the free throw line. And reserve Johnny Brewer ended up with 10 points. He had only 1 field goal but got all 8 of his free throw opportunities. And Brewer picked up 6 of those 10 points right down in the last minutes of play when Pittsburgh pulled within 2 points at 94-92.